For today's lesson, we're going to learn more about Eugene Delacroix. Eugene Delacroix's birth is surrounded by controversy due to his father's treatment to remove a testicular malignancy just 7 months before his birth. However, most historians believe he was the youngest of 4 children born to Victory Aubin and Charles Delacroix. His early life was filled with much loss, including the death of his father when he was 7 years old. His brother was killed in battle when he was 9, and his mother passed away in 1814 when he was just 16. His first commission for the Church of Orsmin in France came in 1819, and he created the Virgin of the Harvest for it. Delacroix was asked to help with the commission for the Cathedral of Nantes by Theodore Géricault a year later. He painted the finished work Virgin of the Sacred Heart in 1822 and split the money with Géricault. When both men were students of Guérin, Delacroix befriended the older artist. When Delacroix viewed Géricault's Rape of Medusa, he was deeply impressed, and Géricault in turn recognized Delacroix's talent. Known for his independence, Delacroix defied French artistic tradition by not applying for the prestigious Prix de Rome, and instead established himself through regular exhibitions at public salons beginning in 1822. He also deviated from classical themes, favoring a more modern approach in which he depicted dramatic narratives in vibrant colors and dynamic compositions. Scenes from the Chios massacres, the death of Sardanapalus, and the liberty leading the people are examples of this. These paintings helped establish Delacroix as a leader of the Romantic movement, a label he did not always release. He was known to associate with the literary romantics, including novelist Victor Hugo. Delacroix's 1832 tour to Morocco with Count Charles de Mornay, Louis Special Philip's ambassador to the colony, was a watershed moment in his career. Delacroix was tasked with recording the diplomatic delegation's 6-month trip around the country in artworks. One of the highlights of the trip was a visit to the Sultan, who gifted Delacroix a horse that he later sold to fund the purchase of Moroccan objects he brought home with him. Strange new culture Delacroix encountered, most especially the people, their costumes, and the light and atmosphere of the Mediterranean land would result in the creation of an entire body of work inspired by this journey. Finding models was not always easy because many of the Muslims he met would not pose for the artist due to the religion's prohibition on depicting human images. So many of his subjects were Jewish people who were more willing to welcome Delacroix into their homes to be sketched. He was a prolific writer who kept diaries throughout his life. In fact, his main diary was collected and later published as a 3-volume journal series titled Journal. Despite its importance and insight into the artist, the document is not a typical diary, but rather contains a variety of information ranging from train schedules to addresses, memory aid, working methods, and art ideas. His career in France was marked by significant official commissions, including the project for the Salon du Roi and library at the Palais Bourbon, as well as the murals for the Church of Saint Sulpice. He also created scenes for the Chamber of Peers Library at the Luxembourg Palace. All of this decorative work was physically exhausting for the artist, and beginning in 1844, he began to spend more time at Champ-Crozet in his country house where he could rest and recuperate. His latter life was marked by periods of poor health, which impacted his productivity. He had to stop working for a time in the early 1840s. He never married but was known for affairs with numerous women, including his models and possibly even Lee Galou, who was with him until his death and to whom he bequeathed a self-portrait from 1837. He drew inspiration from nature in the latter years of his career and painted numerous works depicting gardens and flowers. The greatest rival of Delacroix was none other than Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres. It is said that at the time there was a major artistic disagreement in the artwork world, summarizes the fight between color and line. Major recognition came late in Delacroix's career with his one-man show at the 1855 Universal Exposition. While 35 of his greatest work were exhibited, his two most politicized and controversial works, The Death of Sardanapalus and Liberty Leading the People, were only added after the emperor intervened and insisted on their inclusion. After this success in 1857, he was finally elected after 7 failed attempts to the Académie des Beaux-Arts. The legacy of Delacroix extends beyond his central and generative role within the Romantic movement. His approach to subject matter, the dramatic poses of his figures, his emphasis on expression and emotion, his exploration of natural light in his outdoor landscapes, and his dramatic use of color laid the foundation for the work of the first modern artists, most notably the Impressionists and later Symbolists.